in general, most people have got really nice feet. Everybody's really hygienic before they come in. I always keep some baby wipes, or you can use tissue with the alcohol on it if you want to just give the foot a quick wipe. Um, so that's absolutely fine if you want to do that, and just clean the foot off before you start working with it.
Scrub them.
Also, what you can do as well, if you're working from the feet and then you're going to the head, you can use the baby wipes to wipe your hands before you move on to the head. But in general, people are very, very nice. So if this is on. Yes, it's on. That's it, great. Okay. Do you want me to move the bed down a bit so you can come in more behind me?
Yeah, maybe that's a better idea.
Can somebody push this down and I'll pull them up? Okay. Now, your foot reflexology is more like a routine for part of holistic massage, where I'm going to be showing you lots of different techniques here for the foot, but you don't need to use all of them set in stone. In general, it's a bit like we're going to do our dry work. We're going to heat the foot up, do a bit of an introduction, and then you always start, when you're ready to start, you start from the bottom and you work your way up to the top of the toes. And I will show you as well the different sections of the feet as well. So, right, so we have the heel, which is here. Oh, excuse me a second to get a pen that works. Yay, there we go. Okay, so this is the heel, right? And then we have got section 2 here, and this covers mostly the colon area and some of the organs of the body. So that would be section 1, that would be section 2. Hiya. And then in here, this covers the chest area, okay? We also have here the sciatic nerve that comes in here. This is also very good for the solar plexus as well. And then the head and the toes are all the head and the neck area, okay? This part here from the top of the toe, coming all the way down the side to the bottom of the heel. This is a direct replica of the spine. And from the little toe, coming all the way down here to the side of the heel, is the ear part on the side of the head, on this side, coming all the way down to the bottom of the hip. Okay? So it's a representation of basically everything from the legs up.
So, Elaine, so actually the foot is mirroring, if I will have a tension here, then their tension will be at the same mirror.
Absolutely.
place,
Yeah,
no?
the feet are a map of what goes on in the body. If you look in your large massage therapy ebook, it will show you different diagrams. So we do our dry work. So I always like to work through towels. So I meet and greet the feet. Hello. Okay? And I like to pull the foot down and just give it a bit of rocking. So we're introducing ourselves to the foot, and then you can go in with rotations clockwise and then anti-clockwise. So this is mobilizing the ankle joint and connecting with the foot. I then come into some pulsing, where I'm using my thumbs through the towel and I am palpating the bottom of the muscle tissue to feel where the tension is. So he's got quite generous feet and they all feel to be pretty tight as well. You then want to get a bit of oil, and we have a hook on, so it looks like the hook that we use for the knee, and you have like a hook on it, and you start here at the top of the toes. We slide all the way down, release, and come back up. So it's like a side effleurage hook effect, okay? And we do that about 6 to 8 times again. So this is application of oil again, introducing yourself to the feet, heating the feet up too, giving the feet some love, preparing the feet before we start working. Me as a massage therapist, I always incorporate it with a bit of effleurage coming up into the leg. I just love working in that way, but you don't need to. You can just work here just with the foot. Okay. We then scoop under the ankle and do a bit of reverse effleurage under the ankle. And then we're going to pinch underneath the Achilles tendon for 10 seconds. So we give it some love, and then we're going to pinch here. Transition, again with your effleurage. And then you have the ulna of the hand in front of the ankles, and we're going to be doing foot shaking. Now this is a general heat up routine that I'm giving you. It doesn't matter if you start with the foot shaking and then you go into the ankle curl and do your acupressure work. It doesn't matter if you want to do it in that way. Again, use your intuition and do what feels right for the client, okay? So the ankle shaking then comes into foot shaking. So it's a bit of like a kind of hacking, ringing technique where we're coming up and down the foot. And you can do that up to about 6 times to waken the feet up, say hello to the feet. You're coming right up to the toes, all the way down to the heel. And then you want to give it some love. We're then coming into section 2 of the foot, and we're using cross fiber friction up and down section 2. So we're crisscross, crisscross, up and down there. And then when you're ready, come into section 3 with the palm tree or with big thumb circles. Back down with your crisscrosses and combining it. Crisscross and then up into your big circles in section 3. And then give it some love. Okay. We're now going to come into our spinal walk. So the techniques that you use for reflexology are thumb walking and finger walking. So your thumb walking, you need to make a fist, like a big thumbs up. Hi, how are you? That's great. Thumbs up, okay? And the thumb walking comes from the joint of the thumb. So you place the side of your fist here at the bottom of the heel, and we're using the top of the thumb to thumb walk. And you thumb walk all the way up to the top of the side of the toe. And then you use the side of your hand to effleurage all the way down again. And you can do that once or 3 times. I'll just show you again. When you're doing this, what you're doing is you're releasing all the way up the side of the spine, from the base of the spine up into the neck. So people in general really like this. It can feel really good. Any points of tension that you feel, you can stop and hold your thumb on it for 10 seconds. Okay? Right up to the top of the toe, and then side effleuraging down. We're then going to be rotating the foot and pushing the foot with the other hand to the other side to expose the side of the foot here. And then we're going to be thumb walking up the side of the body. So you need to rotate your hands round and start thumb walking with the hand on the outside. And again, you take it right up to the top of the little toe, and then you effleurage all the way down. And again, you can do that 1 to 3 times. And effleuraging down. Okay? Pull it back, give it some love, transition. All right, so that's your warm up. That's a general way of warming up the full of the foot. Now we're going to go in and do some work. Okay? So we want to scoop and to support the foot, and we're going to be thumb walking all up here the heel of the foot. You can do this 10 times if it's a really tough and thick foot.
Are you making circles or do you just like
No, I'm working up,
really
up, and then back down, up. So again, always up, always towards the toes. So you work the full area. It takes you about 10 ups to complete the full width of the foot there, okay? So normally about 10 times for most people on an average foot, but you've probably got tiny feet because the size of your thighs are the same size as my hand. So it'll probably be like maybe about 3 or
45.
5 times.
hands and they're doing it on mine?
Yeah.
Here it would be like twice.
Yeah. So basically you strip with your thumb walking 10 times, once, twice, 3, 4 times. If it's really tough, if it's really hard, you can just keep thumb walking. Okay. Pull it back, give it some love, give it some nice pestissage. Come back in again to your palm tree and come back down, effleurage. Okay? So these are all your kind of heating up techniques to then move into section 2. Okay? So this area here, this is all the reproductive area. This is the area as well for the elimination of waste products from the body. When we come into section 2, predominantly you have the colon that comes in here. This is the part you need to be aware of. So the colon, the food will come in this way. It will then move up and it will move out there. When it moves out there, it connects in here and comes down. So in this way, what we need to do is to work with our thumb walking in the way that the colon would move the food around the belly.
What we can actually do, because I know it from, my experience,
Uh-huh.
some of the meridians when they are weak,
Yeah.
some of the points they are a bit painful. So
Yes, very,
what
very
shall I
sensitive.
do, actually?
If you find that one of the ends of the meridian points are painful, you just pinch it, light pressure, and you hold it for about 10 seconds. In that way, it will remove, you'll get crystallization happening at the ends of the meridians where there's points, or it feels super sensitive. So don't pull away from it. You want to thumb walk over the crystallization, or you want to hold it for about 10 seconds. Okay. So we're thumb walking here in this way for the colon, around there. So I get a lot of this, people with digestive problems, people with blocked colons, people that have got a lot of gas, people with constipation. So if you work around this area here, it releases the colon, it gets the colon moving. And then when you do more detailed work here on the heel, you'll find that the person will then, if they've had a lot of constipation or they've had a bad diet or too much alcohol or processed foods, things like that, it forces the waste part of the body to eliminate it. And the person will then go to the toilet normally about every 2 to 3 hours, and it will pass through. It's not painful when it passes through. Normally it's very light in colour and it's very soft as well. Okay. So this is why after reflexology you should get them to drink a lot of hot water with lemon and lots of water for 24 hours. Okay. All right, so we're going to use next our thumb walking here coming up to the side. And you can keep walking over that. Any points of tension again, You can hold it, hold your thumb on that for 10 seconds. Nice deep breath, breathe into that. Getting your client just to breathe into it. And then release, and then walking over it again until you feel it softening down. Okay? Pull it back, give it some love. You can use your cross fiber friction again to transition, and also again taking it into your palm tree. Okay? As this loosens, it's going to talk to the ends of the toes and also come down into the ankles as well. So again, you want a car crashed foot, get some techniques in there, get it all moving. All right? Now we're coming into section 3. All right? So we can walk over the smile line of section 3. Section 3 is particularly good for people who've got panic attacks, mental health problems, psychiatric conditions, problems breathing, people that are holding an awful lot emotionally as well. So we can be thumb walking 3 times here over what I call the smile line. For the solar plexus here, and also for the sciatic nerve, you can be holding in here at this point, and we can do 6 times rotations one way and 6 times rotations the other way.
This is very pleasant.
I love reflexology. Love it. Okay. Once you've done that, we're then going to thumb walk just below the big toe. So your thumb walking coming up there. Now right in the center, generally with people, it's quite tight there. So again, you want to hold that for 10 seconds. Watch the client's belly as well. Okay, the breathing, they'll talk to you about how it feels. If they take a nice deep breath again, that's them communicating with you. Wow, that feels really good. So when you're pressing here, it's going to release in areas of their body as well. You're also, coming up to the head and the neck area too, so it gets more sensitive here for most people. There we go. So I'm sitting just under toe number 2, and I'm just holding that for 10 seconds again. The parts, the interconnective parts just under each of the toes are very sensitive for most people. So your thumb walking up and then using your thumb to pulsate. You can also do a little bit of rotative work as well with your thumb if you want to press further into it as well. Once you've done that, again, you can always transition, give it some love, pull it back up into your palm tree. And then we're going to do the lung press. So you want to hold the front of the foot, curl it in slightly, and then with your fist, press into that. And then bend the toes over and hold that again for anything between 5 and 10 seconds. And release. Again, pull it back, give it some love. And then we're coming here into the toes. And we're going to be walking here below. This is all the bottom of the neck area where most people carry an awful lot of tension, trigger points. So you're going to thumb walk over this area as well. And then you thumb walk up the big toe 5 times because it's a larger area. The center of the big toe here comes right into the pineal gland here. So this is very good for your intuition, your psychic ability, very good for stress as well. People that haven't been able to sleep, insomnia, anxiety. The tops of the toes get really sensitive because the ends of the meridians will come into the tops of the toes as well. Also the myofascial meridians come in there too, as well as the energy meridians. The sides of the toes are particularly effective for the myofascial lines too. So he's holding really tight here on this side of the toe, so his head and neck on this side is tighter. And then 3 times thumb walking up the other toes, okay? If you find that you can't thumb walk, you can always slide, right? You can use a sliding action with your fingers. You need to be careful with your fingers as well. You can also get reflexology implements on Amazon, where you can get little tools to use for the reflexology instead of using your own hands. Okay, so that's 3 times. Pull it back. back, give it some love. I can give it a bit of shaking again. And now we want to be working up the front of the toes. So I'm just doing some reverse stroking here. And then we're going to flex the front of the toes with 4 fingers. We're going to walk down in between the metatarsals. As we connect with the ankle, we then effleurage back with our fingers. And that can feel very nice for tension all down the front of the chest and the abdomen area as well. And you can do that up to 5 times. Pull it back with some stroking. And then the fronts of the toes, you do finger walking, right? Or finger sliding. You can combine your sliding and your walking if you wish. So again, you don't come onto the nail, you work below the nail. And then you bring it out, you flick it, and you throw it away. Because the energy tries to leave via the tops of the toes. And like, if I was working on somebody and they had a big release, like today when you're doing this with each other, like I wouldn't take Glenn's energy and then throw it at Gada because it will stick on her. It really does. It really does. I've had that happen to me. So you just want to throw it away up in the air. Okay?
You take only the negative energy, right?
Yes. Yes, the negative energy. Because people want to let go of things that their body doesn't want anymore. So if he'd had quite a lot of trauma and I've got it coming out of this little toe and I can feel it, because you can feel it coming, and I accidentally throw it at Liliana, for instance, it does stick on that person, okay? Pull it back, give it some love. You can also come into some thumb frictions here on the front of the ankle. We can also be working with some finger effleurage here around the ankles as well. We can be working with pulsing at different parts of the ankles, so you can be holding there for 10 seconds, holding around the fronts of the ankles. And then just finish off and at the end give it a bit of shaking, a bit of rotation, really grasp onto that, really then squeeze it and take it out the toes and throw the whole thing away, and that's it. You will see some therapists, they'll use a bit of hacking. You can do a bit of your tapotment as well. I don't work in that way, but you can use a bit of your tapotment if you want to just waken the foot up a bit more. One of the things that I always do when I'm working with people, again, as a deep tissue therapist, is I'll really take it out the toes. See that? So that's really what, in a deeper way that you should be doing, is to really get those joints opened and cracking, okay? The toes, but they'll go naturally. You're not forcing it. When you do that, it then energetically catapults up and it takes more of it out of the body. So the deeper version in the future, if you come back to do deep tissue, or even if you, I was telling some of the girls this morning, I'm doing a star system retreat at the end of May. So I'll be teaching how to do that, working with the hands and the feet, the head, and then moving all the energy out of the body. It's amazing. It gets really addictive. Yeah, you great time with it. It's brilliant. Okay. Right, so there we go. There's one of your